a whole lot of talents headed to South Florida this weekend for official visits at Miami. Official visits across the country. Will Miami make a good representation of themselves? I'm sure they will. Mario Cristobal and staff knows what it's doing, and we will discuss some of the players that are headed to campus. Cam Underwood right next to me, of course, makes it all roll for us here on the Miami channel. You can catch Cam and the rest of the staff there at State of the U. Cam, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right, doing well. Glad to be here with everybody. And let me pause all of these video games I'm playing on multiple different platforms at the same time. I got a computer game I'm playing. I got a phone game I'm playing. I got video games like console games. But those are in the other room. But yeah, so undivided attention and focus.
And you still maintain the dynasties doing all that at the same time?
I haven't touched my San Diego State dynasty in a minute. I've been doing a challenge, Chicago White Sox MLB The Show franchise for a little bit. Got challenged by a friend of mine to see if I could do that because the White Sox are atrocious in real life. So I've been doing that. Gonna probably slide back to Dynasty World in a minute. But I mean, it was just like, waiting for the show to start, kind of different, time wasters.
Absolutely. Comments and questions, folks, leave those in the chat. We will get to them. We appreciate your super chat contributions as well. And official visits, I did see one prediction out there from one of the major recruiting services that really likes the lean on Derek Cooper, the fine running back, headed to Miami, possibly.
Yeah. Currently on 3, but Shannon Terry, who started Rivals and so like basically sold them, started 247, sold that, started on 3, then circled back to the asset that he originally started and has been devalued, and then purchased Rivals to go with on 3, and then is going to return Rivals to being the high school and recruiting, and then on 3 is going to be college and portal and whatever. Anyways, it was from on 3, but Derek Cooper is one of many elite recruits who are going to be taking their talents to South Beach or Coral Gables more directly for official visits this current weekend. He is somebody that Miami has been pursuing for a good long time. Mentioned him on here a bunch, 61205 from Chaminade. If you don't know the name Chaminade in the world of recruiting by now, what are we doing? But yeah, he's an elite player. We are looking to get another running back to go along with Javian Mallory in this recruiting class. If it wasn't for Marty Brown from North Dakota State, I would say I was looking at 2 and a possible towards potentially being even 3 in this class. But with Javian Mallory, Derek Cooper, hopefully that'll lock that up. I mean, all things being equal, Jay Lamar from Colquitt County, Georgia, is incredible at a similar size, speed, skill set, kind of a similar, not the same, to Derek Cooper, but all things being equal, you take the local kid. And I know that the transfer linebacker from NC State went to Colquitt County. I know that we went to Colquitt County for Nye Carr a couple of years ago in the wonderful world of recruiting. So it's not that there is no connection there, but like I would much rather cultivate the connection at Chaminade than Colquitt County. But yeah, Derek Cooper at the top of the board for sure. He's one of the guys, one of the many, many, many coming down this weekend. Another one, and I just quote tweeted from Steve Wilfong for On 3, who was talking to one of his colleagues, who's a Florida State alum and used to host a Florida State podcast, but now just kind of does their national hosting at On 3. Anyways, Wolfong was just like, hey, I know that he's committed to LSU and everything, but Tristan Keys going back, and this looks like Derek Cooper here. Yeah. from the Under Armour All-American game. Because remember, with guys enrolling early and everything, there's actually a lot of juniors who do go play in these games. Jackson Cantwell also played in this game last year. But yeah, so Tristan Keys making a return visit, a third visit this calendar year to Coral Gables. So Steve Wilfong says, yeah, like Miami is a real contender here. And, as people are learning, like, you don't want to go down to the end against Mario Cristobal. I'm not saying that he's going to win every recruit because he hasn't, but, it's tough for other teams. This is Keys at the bottom of the screen, by the way, in case you're watching, on that big post to the middle. Yeah, this is a kid who, I think this double move is coming up here, and he turns this defender around. Oh, no, this is not the double move. Okay. But that's just a quick out, and I'm going up the sideline, running through a dude. Whatever. Number one. Oh, this is the double move. Poor little Tink over here. Sluggo, bye-bye. Yeah, exactly. But this is another kid who has classified up and is like the number one recruit, number one receiver in America. And he's on campus, or will be on campus this weekend. So, yeah, Miami is really looking to cash in on, Cam Ward and company from last year, to be perfectly honest, in the upward trajectory of 5, 7, 10 wins over the last 3 years. I was a little incredulous when I heard, some other people saying that the main benefit in the world of recruiting from the Cam Ward, phenomenon was going to be the 26 recruiting class, not 25, as in not the current year of that performance, but the next year, like this upcoming recruiting class. I have to sit here and eat some crow. Looks like I was wrong. And those who said that it was going to be a bigger payoff in the class after, to this point, seem to be on track to be proven right. So, yeah, I'll bring it to y'all straight. Like, I give you my thoughts and opinions and things, and, strong or whatever. But, yeah, it seems that, yeah, Miami is really, really heating up. If you want to say that's all NIL or whatever, fine, whatever, you got it. But even with that, like, you still got to go recruit the kids. You still got to, do that. It's not just, I got the biggest bag. It's not. I'm sorry to tell you. Not in some instances it might be, but across the board, you got a guy like a Derek Cooper. You got a guy like a Tristan Keys. You got a guy like Lamar Brown from Baton Rouge Southern Lab University School, right? This is a guy who's a top 10 player in America, and he can play offensive line, defensive tackle, wherever you want to put him. He's an elite player. Big dude's close to the ball. It's that, and then there's more. So if you're just looking at everybody that Miami is chasing and could potentially get in this class, and then in the same segment there, Wilt Fong was saying, if you're looking at a team and you're looking at the list and saying, okay, who could potentially push towards the number one overall recruiting class in this cycle? He's like, hey man, Miami. Like, I know that they're at the back half of the top 10 right now, around that 8 or 9, but if you start hitting on some of these guys, you lock down a Derek Cooper, you potentially flip a Tristan Keys, you go and you get a couple, more real, blue blood, blue chips, to join in and buy into what you're building, along with all those other dudes that are already committed and everything. It is within the realm of possibilities. So it is an exciting time of the year. Yeah, we are at official visit season, officially kicking off this weekend in Coral Gables.
Yeah, I haven't taken the time to filter through the various differences and similarities, but it comes to mind as Major League Baseball being the closest comparison, because there's no salary cap, because these teams, there's a luxury tax, but there's not a salary cap, and teams spend, and we know the payroll figures. And the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers are not winning all the World Series. They're really not winning many World Series. So, yes, the money's required, but you need to do a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, and it's also on how you build your team. Like I'm not a Braves fan, but I was a tangential Braves fan because growing up they were on TBS every single day. So, and I love baseball. So if I'm watching something on WGN, whether it's from the north side or south side, or going over there because both my parents are from Chicago, or the Tigers on local TV. And if not, I think it was number 12 on the old cable, just watching the Braves, right? That team was built for the marathon, not necessarily built for the sprint. So they would make it to the playoffs every year because over 162, their level of talent was higher. But then you get into compressed series, and it's like, no, we really need uber elite talent to carry us in these shortened scenario, in a shortened timeline, not from April to October, but from Wednesday to Thursday, from Wednesday to Saturday. We need to win all these games. It's a different kind of construction. So yeah, I mean, I would say that is kind of similar, but yeah, you still have to go out there and recruit the kids, man. You got to get out there. You got to build those relationships. You have to make them know that you care about them. And whether it's real or not, at some level, you have to care. You do. You honestly do. And, I know Kirby Smart, he's running his mouth and everything. And it's very, again, well, I know that there are teams who are giving $20,000 a month to recruits to make sure that they're committed and stay committed, and then asking for the money back for each month that was paid if they then flip and everything. Y'all don't do that, Kirby. Y'all don't do anything like that. You just heard that from your collective with specific numbers about everybody else. Like, come on, dog. Like, I talked about this last week about you just saying, oh, yeah, we're throwing money out there for what? Hey, man, like, get your collective stuff together or don't. And I know that they are a well-oiled machine and they got a great team and everything. I know that. But, like, again, he's going out in public again, even today, and mentioning money as though the University of Georgia is crying poor in terms of recruiting. Shut up, bro. God.
Yeah. There's a handful or two of programs that are playing the same game. So, and he's in that.
Absolutely. Hey, look, Tennessee has an incredible collective, $8 million Nico going there for that verified number. Nobody talked about it. So it's not even like I'm trying to pick on them, but when you come out here and then, like basically say, well, there's teams who are doing this and they're spending money and and you're not, like, anyways. But
this is our Miami show where George is first in line today. But first, stepping up here in all red is Falconer TRX. Appreciate you with the super sticker. And we will get to your comments and questions.
Chi-Town Kane. I was just looking at that one. Look at Simpatico Synergy. How are we feeling on Chauncey Cannon, an elite cornerback recruit from Sarasota Booker? Elite as in a 5-star talent, Chauncey Cannon. He is committing on July the 6th, as per his 247 Sports page. On 247 Sports, they have him as the number 27 overall player in America. On the composite, he is 67 overall in America. So no matter how you slice it, an elite talent. This is a kid who is also scheduled to visit this weekend. So, like, when you like, this weekend is just going to be so massive to start the recruiting, like this off-season push through. I mean, we're a couple days left in May, so let's just call it June. So like June and July into the beginning of August, like, these 2 months and some changes, like next 10 weeks. This is really going to be big. I think that Miami's in a good spot here. Obviously, getting him on campus is key. Prioritizing him and having him come this weekend with other top of the board players, right? So now you say, this is a nice long jump by Chauncey Kennan. Good old Chuck, as you see. But if you're saying, hey, we are prioritizing you in our recruiting class, and then you bring him in the same weekend as Lamar Brown, Tristan Keys, Derek Cooper, and others, but the first showcase weekend of official visit season, we want to make sure you're on that list. Hey, so again, it's not just when, like, that you're going, but like when and all these different kind of things. So yeah, really excited for his potential, his current performance and the potential moving forward as a player. You might want to close your messages tab there on the corner of the screen. But yeah, this is a guy that Miami and a lot of other players are recruiting. So yeah, feels good now, but nothing is done until it's done.
Falconer TRX, tons of 4 and 5 stars taking official visits at the U.
Yeah, man. Tristan Keys, Lamar Brown, Anthony Jones from Mobile, St. Paul's Episcopal, 6'4", 240 edge rusher, Derek Cooper, Samari Matthews, who canceled a visit somewhere else from Cornelius, North Carolina, to come down this weekend as well. So now there's 2 really elite corners in Kennan and Matthews. It like we want you and we want both of you, but like also, you know, we're not going to not recruit somebody to recruit someone else, especially at a position where you play, you know, multiple guys at a time. You know, Messiah Hampton, the wide receiver from upstate New York, Keyshawn Stansel, the D tackle from North Carolina, Samorian Wingo, Malik Morris, the linebacker from Lakeland, Brody Jennings, the Michigan commit from Jacksonville, Camden Portis, the commit is on that list, Daniel Norman. That's the name of the edge rusher from St. Thomas Aquinas that I couldn't remember a couple weeks ago. He's a 3-star presently, but Miami has really been pushing for him over the course of this offseason. So I believe that they love that evaluation and are looking to bring him in as one of the players in this class. And there are other guys as well. So, like, yeah, this is going to be a star-studded weekend in Coral Gables for official visits. This is what you want to see. There are guys coming, you know, in subsequent weeks as well. You know, Justice Fitzpatrick, Minka's younger brother, who plays at St. Thomas. He's coming down next weekend. James Johnson, the defensive tackle from who is now at Miami Northwestern, the one that the Texas Insider said that he's been paid millions of dollars already, and if he doesn't go to Miami, then I don't know what's going on, that I talked about last week. He's coming down next weekend, and there's even more. So, like, yeah, we are, like, the list of official visits under Mario Cristobal looks like it needs to look like in terms of who you're getting on campus. And now we just need to start to close on many of those guys over the next, you know, coming days and weeks.
Our buddy Paolo is looking for the best duo in recent Miami history of recruits if Tristan Keys is in fact flipped from LSU.
Ooh.
He's
I
throwing
know y'all
down
are going to.
Duke Johnson and Tracy Howard.
Okay, I didn't even look. I was gonna say it, and I was gonna say, I know y'all are gonna scream at me because I used to work at Miramar High School, and my ID badge, is it still here? Yes, it is. My ID badge from a long time ago is right here, Mr. Underwood, and everything. You can't see it, but yeah, that was Jesus. I was a child. That's from my first day at Miramar in 2007. So I was 25. I was just short of my 26th birthday. Lord God, long time. Anyways, so I know you're going to say you worked at Miramar, you literally have the ID badge, and you're going to say Tracy Howard, and he didn't. 5-star, 5-star. Like, that's probably it. That's probably it. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I would say in terms of, because I mean, at the time of their commitment, they were both top 10 players in America. Yeah, I would say since Tracy and Duke Johnson in 2000.